People have been flooding comments on my channel.
Man.
Talk about Chelsea.
Yeah.
Talk about Chelsea. This man sleeping on Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I mean, that's probably the case, but they keep buying players. They keep.
That's what it was too.
They keep spending money on players.
They spent what, $900 million on their team that they have right now.
Something like that.
Something
I can't remember
crazy. And this guy says, hold on. He says something wild like we just don't have the. It's hard to get the things that you need to win or something like that. And I'm like, bro, you spent more than any NFL.
Yeah, no. They've spent so much money.
I think that's 2 teams. I think the NFL caps itself at like $500 million a roster or something like that per year.
It's crazy,
like, bro. You bought 2. You bought all of these. What are supposed to be the greatest players that you're thinking of anyway. And we're still complaining about it.
It's not like West Ham United is they're not bottom of the league.
No,
they're definitely not one of the top contenders.
Shoot, they keep playing like this, and they will be. Let's see here. Let's just take a look at this.
Maybe
game.
I'm sleeping on West Ham.
Maybe you are, bro. I told you my barber's a West Ham fan, man. He might. I can't even go see him now because I know he's gonna be tripping about this.
Well, it's just like the fact that Chelsea has been out there spending a lot, and people have been projecting them to be maybe top 4 because of that. And here they can't win yet. It's a draw and a loss.
Explain that line to me. At 10-man West Ham.
Oh my gosh! Did West Ham play with 10 men? So yeah, if you get a second yellow card, you get
like getting a red card.
Right, you get removed from the game, and so then
they can't replace that position.
No,
okay, I knew that. Boy, look at here. I'm learning something. Dude, that is crazy.
Yeah. So they played. So Chelsea lost to a 10-man squad.
Now, mind you, it said midway through the second half, so really they only played like 20-something minutes. But still. Still, bro.
All I'm saying is Chelsea should be able to beat West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Absolutely, especially with 10 men on the field. If Chelsea has all these great players and they're doing everything right, what's happening?
Yeah.
I'm going to need somebody that's a Chelsea fan to explain that one to me.
And I'm saying it with my chest on this one, not because I have some axe to grind with Chelsea. It's just I keep getting flooded in my comments like you're sleeping on Chelsea.
Wait, I think it also might have something to do with the fact that I think that you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan, and they just won the game of the year for them.
All right, yeah. So Spurs United, man. Okay, that game. All right, so people were I was chatting with some channel members during the game, and a lot of them are United fans, and so there's a young fella that I had to put out a what's it called, a welfare check for one of these channel members because United, man, they came in confident. And to be fair, I thought they had a lot to be confident about. I thought United are going to have a pretty great year, but they have had a rocky start.
Have they won a game yet?
Yeah, they won 1-0 against Wolverhampton, against the Wolves.
Oh, okay.
But and that's a controversial one because they got away with a clear penalty.
Was it the hand
to the face?
Yeah.
No.
Hand to the face.
So there was. In fact, let me pull it up because this was a storyline. Where's YouTube?
Oh.
Andre Onana is the. That's a funny clip, dude. It explains it.
All right.
Man United versus Wolves. This happened. Penalty, boss.
Not a bloody chance, Howard.
Yes, boss. No foul. So let's play Eric.
Pretty much. So the dude jumps up.
Hold on, play this.
It's a clear penalty.
Bro, that's targeting. Wait a minute.
Onana chose violence.
Listen.
So they decided on review, no penalty.
Wow.
Now,
Did they call penalty on the field? Didn't they have to review it or what?
No, they didn't call anything. So that happens in the box, right? That's a penalty kick.
Yeah.
So if you have a penalty that happens within that box, then Wolves should have had an opportunity to go 1v1 on a penalty.
And they likely would have scored.
They likely would have because penalties often get scored.
Right.
And so they feel like they got robbed.
Oh, absolutely.
At least. And so the league comes back and says after the fact, they dismiss the referee crew they suspend them for that missed call in this game. And so, like, if I'm a Wolves fan, I'm like, okay, that's great. The apology is great, but dude, like, that's the difference between 0 points and 1 point on the table.
And it very well could end up being something that gets, the Wolves could end up being in the relegation zone.
Dude, what if they get relegated by 1 point?
Oh, you talk about a whole man. That's gonna be messed up.
Now, and it's not to say that they would have tied.
No, but they could have.
They needed that chance.
They could have. Tifo's gonna have a day with that one if they
Yeah.
get relegated by 1 point.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cartoon that's gonna come out after that one. So this is interesting. So they don't have. Let me give some context. In American football, because missed calls got so bad, one particularly against my who I would call my professional team, who Luke hates, the New Orleans Saints. There was a terrible.
I hate the Saints, bro.
You're a Dallas fan. You hate everybody. Anyway, so the Saints had a terrible missed call one time, and it quite literally almost got the referees killed leaving the game. And so because of stuff like that and other missed calls that happen, now when a game is being played, there's somebody in a central office in New York who is watching these games, and when a penalty comes up, they're helping the referees make the right call. So that there's no dispute. Is there anything like
that's
that?
what they have. I would. This is what makes it kind of infuriating. They have. I would say they have a more strict version of that in the Premier League. It's what's called VAR. So there's a VAR official that reviews every single thing.
And they still couldn't get it?
And they do it. And they do an instant check on all of these things. So VAR checked this and said, no penalty.
So wait, back up. So did he also, or whoever that is, did they also get dismissed?
Yes. Yes. Because so the officiating crew, you have the official on the field, and then you have a VAR official, as well as the side judges who are calling offside penalties or offsides and things like that. And so the VAR, that whole crew, the whole officiating crew from that game, it got suspended for the next week or whatever.
So was that suspension? Who makes that decision? Is that FIFA or is that EPL that makes that?
Yeah, EPL.
Okay, cool.
Premier League.
All
yeah.
right.
So
wow.
Premier League decided they made a bad call. They are going to be sitting down.
Right.
And that's just like one of those things. Like, it was clearly a penalty. Like,
Man,
and
everybody
so
else could see it. Yeah.
So they can complain about the officiating against Spurs if they want. And there was some calls that did not go United's way that I thought probably should have gone their way.
Mm-hmm.
However, Fernandez, he's just complaining at this point. I'm like, the real issue is you got outplayed by Spurs for that whole second half. They got outplayed. And I will say it now. The Spurs look exciting under Postecoglou.
Can we get an admission out of you? Are you a Spurs fan?
I lean that way. I'm not gonna lie. So I watched that game, and I had some people in some channel members chatting with me, and I do like United. It's like one of those things. I do like them. I do like Brighton, and I'm having a blast just watching the league. Just all just rooting for good football. But during that game, I did find it exhilarating when Tottenham they were playing great. They were fun to watch. They were exciting in that game. And I don't know if I've come to grips with what that means or not. But they were fun to watch. Yeah.
All right. Well,
and I'm going to enjoy watching them this year. I think that their new coach, and I'm saying this like first year ever watching the league, so I might be buying the hype too soon. I'm not jaded like the rest of the fan base who's seen this happen over and over and over again.
Fair enough, yeah. The ones who have been in it for a decade or more.
I mean, they've had 5 coaches in 5 years.
Woo.
So every year they're turning over a coach. But I like the way he plays. And so this is something interesting I'll bring up before we get to the Man City and Newcastle.
Yeah. Bring it up.
One thing that I've been seeing developing in the EPL this year is long ball game.
Okay.
So I didn't think I would like this. I didn't think I would like the way that they're playing.
When you say long ball, help me out.
Okay, so when I first started watching the sport, everyone was doing this thing where they would build up the play by making short passes in the back, and they would sort of advance up the pitch just by quick short passing, little triangles, moving the ball around, and then they find themselves on the other side of the pitch where they can try to go for a goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why people were playing this way is because defenses were backing the heck up. They were putting their back line of defenders close to their goal in their own half, and they were allowing teams the ability to advance the ball and come close. Well, what ends up happening is with a team who has high skill level, you're just giving them opportunity after opportunity to take a shot on goal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very smart.
And so that's how teams have been playing. I think their normal wisdom is if you play that back line further back, they have less opportunity to exploit the space behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just crowds your goal, gives you more defense. But what it ends up doing is it ends up giving them more opportunities to take shots. Okay, so what ends up happening now is people have started playing their back line of defense further up the pitch, like the halfway line, and they've started pressing. So teams are pressing the heck out. Like every game I've watched in the Premier League this year, teams have been pressing.
Who are the players that are pressing? Is it your midfield?
No, so you're gonna have you'll have how do I put that?
So I'm trying to think if they're bringing up their back line of defense.
No, you would have your attacking players would be the ones who are pressing. So
that makes sense.
So like whoever your striker is and the front three are going to be pressing the back line of the opponent. So your center backs are going to be pressed by your best attacking players on the other side. And so what ends up happening though is they're pressing. Well, they're bringing the back line way higher up the pitch, and so it leaves open. The entirety of that field is wide open. So teams have been doing is they've been instead of doing short, quick passes, teams have been launching the ball and doing like a run and get it sort of thing.
Oh, like leading the pass.
Right, like a leading pass, like a quarterback, and then they're going out and they're grabbing it. And because there's one-on-ones. Okay, so this was happening a little bit in the Spurs game and United game is because the back lines were moving further up the field. They were exploiting that space behind there, and you'd have one-on-ones, and so there were a lot of really fun like runs up the pitch because you had space, you could run, and so the teams were just getting out and going. So I didn't think I would like that. It's a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
I feel like that also benefits the players who are quick and short distance. You know, I guess and quick and long distance, but there's some players who are going to be more gifted in. You know, measuring it by yards, a 20-yard range, 30-yard range, who could really explode off the ball like that.
If you've got a speedster and you're playing against a team who decides to press,
make them pay for it.
You can make them pay by exploiting that space behind them.
That's the whole problem with lockdown man defense is what we would call it in American football is if you have somebody who is outmatched by speed, it is going to get exposed quickly.
Yep. It literally is. It's so easy when you start to parallel it with American football.
Right.
It's easy to understand the concept because that's exactly the case. Yeah. You don't want to, unless you've got some just lockdown defenders, you don't want to man up against a team who has an arsenal of wideouts.
Imagine this: trying to man coverage Tyreek Hill all game.
Right, exactly.
It's a horrible idea. He runs like a 4.240.
Yeah, you should not do that.
No,
You're
that's
going
a terrible
to get burned.
idea.
Or it would be the same thing as manning up against name the best. Like when Calvin Johnson was playing, you never
absolutely.
go just one-on-one with him.
No.
You never go one-on-one with a lot of these guys.
And that you just raised up an interesting point too, because speed doesn't even necessarily have to be the only factor that plays into it. If these cats are just really good at receiving passes down the field, like it doesn't matter if you're pressing them or not. If they can, like how you were telling me last time we recorded, like they can catch it off their chest and stop it and stuff like that. If they're really talented at receiving the ball and facilitating after that, you also don't want to press that because you're leaving your defender with nowhere to go.
So I didn't think I would like it, but I think I do like it. It's a lot of fun. The long ball game is actually fun to watch.
That sounds fun. Yeah. I need to pay more attention to that. I'm trying to figure out the play style and stuff like that. So kind of getting into tactics and whatnot is gonna help me tremendously, I think.
I'm starting to catch on enough to where I can watch it and sort of see what's happening.
Okay.
But I don't have the technical language or like jargon to put underneath it.
Right.
So the more I think probably what I'll do throughout this year is after each week I'm gonna watch some tactical breakdowns of some of the big games. And what I'm going to try to do before I watch that video is try in my own words to explain what I saw, and then see if I can add technical language to it.
I like that.
Sort of understand
Well,
it.
and it also checks you too, because you can see very quickly if you're wrong
Right.
on how you're viewing the game, on how you think something's going down. If somebody who can view it from a professional light
Right.
says, no, this is actually what happened.
Yeah.
And so that's
anyway.
that's really cool, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that Spurs United game was a fun game to watch. It was, it was exciting, and I think that they're actually going to be exciting under Ange Postecoglou. I don't know how to say his name.
You're asking the wrong guy.
He's Australian. All he's done is win. So
Wow.
wherever
That's
he's
the
been,
manager.
Mhm.
Cool.
So we'll see what he can do with the cereal bottlers of EPL.